Well, hello and welcome to episode 11 of Restoring the Republic. It's been a busy week in D.C. Obviously, you've had the Trump verdict. We're going to talk about that. The Biden executive order, which does a whole bunch of nothing, and we'll get into the details on that and why it doesn't do anything. And then ultimately, we just voted on MilCon VA, which is simply stated, this has to do with the military construction. I had 5 amendments on that bill. Now, each one of those amendments could have been standalone bills, but what we do is by piggybacking on this appropriations, it increases the probability that they'll actually get passed. And so I had 5 pieces of legislation that were voted on today, were voted through the House. That brings me up to 42. I was at 37, and according to Sean Hannity, I was on his radio program about 3 weeks ago. He says that I hold the congressional record for any freshman in congressional history. Now, I haven't fact-checked that, but that's from Sean Hannity, so that's kind of cool. But at the end of the day, what we fought for was making sure that veterans could get services, more services, better services in their communities versus having to commute long distances. So you have veterans that are terminally ill. You have veterans who have maybe very invasive surgeries like knee surgery or hip surgeries that are having to drive an hour and a half for therapy. This would limit that and would bring back those services to your community. So again, one of those things that we're trying to do for our veterans. And I do believe that the Senate will pick up some version of this. Their version may be slightly different. It'll go to conference, and so my 5 bills, which bring services into the community, have a decent shot of being signed into law. But we'll see. There's obviously a process still underway as they move through that process of becoming law. So let's get to the Trump verdict. I do believe we have a clip for you, so here we go.
Attorney General, you've told us that it's a dangerous conspiracy theory to allege that the Department of Justice is communicating with these state and local prosecutions against Trump. You can clear it all up for us right now. Will the Department of Justice provide to the committee all documents, all correspondence between the department and Alvin Bragg's office and Fonnie Willis's office and Letitia James's office?
The offices you're referring to are independent offices of state.
I get that. The question is whether or not you will provide all of your documents and correspondence. That's the question. I don't need a history lesson.
Well, I'm going to say again, we do not control those offices. They make their own decisions.
The question is whether you communicate.
So there's the question. So he asked a very simple question. Will you provide your communications? So yes, those offices are independent, but they could provide the correspondence back and forth. So he deflected, and this is the problem we have up here with the Biden administration, is we ask substantive questions on behalf of the American people. We're asking for truth. That's all we're looking for, is we're asking and seeking truth. And what do? They lie and they obfuscate and they won't answer the question. You know, he could turn over his correspondence to those particular DAs, to those respective offices, and we could find out the answers. And if we needed more information, we could then go to those individuals or to those offices and ask the next question, right? But they won't do that because they're covering up for Biden. And why do I say that? So you look at this guy. He's the number 3 at the Justice Department. Colangelo is his name. Matthew, I do believe, is his first name. And what does he do? He's a powerful guy, right, working for justice, and he leaves the government to do what? To go prosecute Donald Trump. There is a direct correlation. There's a coordination. There is a persecution of a former president. Why? Because they don't want him campaigning. And AOC said it just a couple of weeks ago that the trial in New York was essentially an ankle bracelet, ankle monitor around his leg to prevent him from being on the campaign trail. They are terrified that Donald Trump is going to win. He is going to win. He's ahead in the battleground states. He just had 100,000 people at a New Jersey rally. The next president of the United States is Donald Trump, and we're going to fix this country. We're going to make it safer. And you know what's going to happen on a global stage? These bad actors like Iran, like Russia, like China, they're going to start behaving again because we didn't have this nonsense under Donald Trump the way we do under Joe Biden. Now, this is a great segue into Biden's executive order. Now, this is an issue that is dominating every single poll across the country. You have mayors of blue cities saying, please shut down the border. So Biden has this executive order where it says if the numbers hit more than 2,500 a day, then he'll close the border, and then there's a trigger to opening it back up. However, There's some exemptions. There's some exclusions, some exceptions to the rule. So if you're a child, that doesn't count. If you're coming in under parole, which is roughly about 1,500 a day. Now, and let me give you a number. On average, we have about 6,000 a day. So they're saying if it's 2,500, we're going to reduce it to that number. But if you come in under parole, which is around 1,500, that's an additional 1,500. You have another 1,000 coming in through the airports. That's another 1,000. So if you add those numbers up, that's 5,000. This executive order does absolutely nothing. Now, I want you to hear this clip so why now? Why did he wait so long to do this? Play the clip.
With executive authority, or is there more you could do absent
Not all I can do. Give me the power. I've asked for the very day I got in office. Give me the border patrol. Give me the people, the judges. Give me the people who can stop this and make it work right.
So there he says, right? Give me the power. From the day he's been in office, he's had the power. Nothing has changed. Joe Biden has had the ability to affect change at the southern border. And why is the number 2,500 today? You know what? Because it could be 0. Laken Riley is dead because of Joe Biden. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's a 14-year-old girl whose life is forever changed in Louisiana because she was raped by an illegal. There's a 14-year-old girl in Virginia whose life is forever changed because she was raped by an illegal. There's a family of 4 in critical condition in a hospital because of a head-on collision on an interstate because of an illegal. Enough is enough, people. And I haven't even gotten into fentanyl. Every small town in America is a border town because of this joker of a president who should be impeached. We should have already voted on it. And quite frankly, it's time for us to do this right away. But that being said, welcome to Restoring the Republic. It's been an honor to serve you, to continue to serve you. Stay tuned for the next episode.